The cost of living is skyrocketing by the day, and basic commodities are becoming too expensive, and that is the reason why I have decided to do my own garden. As I live in a rented apartment, in a rented house, and see now we are renting, we are paying for the house. The food has become expensive, and we must find a way to reduce the expenses that we are using as a family. And that is why I decided to build this square foot garden, and I tried as much as possible to use the locally available materials, cheaply locally available materials. Those wood that you are seeing there, they are offcuts from I don't know how to say it, but for whoever who is living in Kenya knows what offcuts are. They are like a rejected part of the tree when they are producing lumber or what. So I did mix those soils, and in that box I'm going to plant around 24 plants, 12 skuma wikis, those are collard greens, 12 Swiss chard. I'm going to plant 9 coriander, 16 carrots. We have these bunching onions. They are also called spring onions. And spring onions, I'm going to plant around 16 on that one box, which is 2 foot by 6 foot 6.25 there. And I hope and pray that this project becomes successful, because I'm going to keep each and every coin that I save. I know how much we spend for the vegetables, so each time I harvest, I'll keep aside some money and see if we can at least reduce the cost of food, the cost of expense for the food, because it's becoming hard. And you see, the money that we get isn't increasing, and the prices of things are increasing. So we have to survive and find a way to try and reduce the expense. These are the bunching onions, and I've divided my square foot garden into 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. That is 1 foot by 1 foot square. And I have to water this garden first. And this is not the only box I'm going to use. And remember, I'm living in a rented house, and this box isn't on the pavement. I've raised it. It's a raised garden, but raised to a certain level. I've lined the box with the polythene bag so that the soil doesn't go down and spoil the pavement. And I don't want the landlord to come for me, so I have to take care of his property. And this is not the only box I'm going to have. I'm going to show you in the next video what else I'm going to plant. I've not prepared that box. I have already a box that from last year and the other year, and I see like it is kind of coming apart, so I want to remove the soil and then remix the soil with manure. I want to be intentional with this farming, because this one I'm doing it differently from the other years that I've been doing. I want to be intentional, and I'm planting the Swiss chard from seed. I want to see if it will grow. I don't want the the part of hardening, or you need to put it in nursery and whatever. I just want it to grow from there, and then grow up to become big. We are experimenting. Let's see what will happen. I'm planting only one seed in a hole. So in that one square, I'm planting only 2. And this square foot garden, if you don't know anything about square foot garden, please go search here on YouTube, and you'll get very useful information about square foot garden. It's so impressive, and you'll want to try it. Yes, so I'm utilizing space in front of my house, and then at the back I also have space, but that part I want to at least clean it. It has been my garden for quite a long time. It's a paved place, so I want to clean it, remove all the plants from there, bring them in front, remove all the soil, and then try and mix the soil with the manure again. And then that area, I want to see what I'll do with it. I'll also do a sack garden. That I have a sack that I had bought for planting purposes. I also want to do that. I'll show you. So at this point, I'm going to plant carrots, and the square foot method requires that in one square you plant around 16 carrots. So, and because the carrot seeds are too small, I'm going to put quite a bit of seeds, and then I'll thin them when they have grown to 4 in a row, because I've made 4 rows. So I'm going to have 4 in a row. That way they are not crowded. So in total, I'm going to have 10 collard greens, 10 spinach, 16 carrots, 9 corianders. And remember, the coriander that I'm planting, one that you'll see me showing you, produces 2 plants. So in total it will be around 18, and I'm not going to pluck all the plant while I'm harvesting. I'll only harvest the stem and then leave the coriander to continue growing. That way I'll harvest the coriander for a very long time. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm lightly covering the seeds. I'm praying so much that this thing become a success. And you see, these plants, I've planted them where there's minimal sunlight, and these ones will do best where there's minimal sunlight. You need to know your plants well. Just find out which plants require what and what. I did some research. So at this point, I'm going to plant 9. As you have seen there, I'm making holes, 9 holes for the coriander leaves. I've never planted coriander like this. Those are the seeds, and you've seen one seed produces 2 plants. If I break that seed, it will still grow because it has 2 seeds in one. Yes, I was saying that I've never planted my coriander like this. I'm really praying that they'll grow. See, I did watch someone planting the seeds of coriander, planting the seeds of the Swiss chard. You see, Swiss chard, we call them here spinach. So if you're from Kenya, just know I'm referring to our kawaida spinach. Yeah. Now at this side, I'm going to plant spring onions. And the spring onions in one square, and this is not a perfect square. In one square, it requires you to plant around 32. And because this is small, I'm going to plant 8 in that rectangle, because that is not a square. In that rectangle, I'm going to plant 8, 4 in each, 4 in each row, and I'm going to plant quite a number so that I can thin them when they have grown, because I'm not sure if they'll grow if I only plant one seed. So I'm basically done with this planting process of this box, this square raised garden. Yeah, and I'm going to at least pour in some water. Remember, I did explain what I did with the soil and the lining in my previous video. You can go and watch my previous video. I've explained about the soil and everything. But if you have a question about what I'm doing here, please don't forget to ask down in the description box. So I have to water this after that because it drains. I really have to water this. Yes. Thank you for stopping by, and I love you all for supporting me. You've really supported my channel, and I really appreciate your support. And see you in the next video.